Senator Hunt, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise in support of AM 1995 and LB 888. And I think it's important we all understand that if we forget the history of the Holocaust and the Jewish people around our world, and if we don't stay connected to the love and the empathy and the compassion that it takes to understand that kind of devastation, then the refrain of never again that we say about the Holocaust is not going to be a reality for future generations. And I'm really grateful to be a part of a generation, one of the last generations, where I can learn firsthand about the atrocities of the Holocaust from survivors of the Holocaust, from people who were really there. I had the deep, deep honor a couple of years ago of speaking at the Holocaust Memorial Day event here at the Capitol in the Rotunda, and I got to meet several Holocaust survivors at that event that we have here in Nebraska. And I've had the opportunity throughout my life at different times to meet other survivors of that genocide. I was a German major in college, and I spent a lot of time living and working in Berlin. And so I also have a connection to that country and the deep shame that the people of that country feel. There's a word for it, it's Kulturschande, and it means the collective shame that they feel as a country about the atrocities of World War II. There is nothing like that in our culture, is there? There's no word in English to describe the atrocities that Americans have perpetrated on people here on our own soil and people abroad in other countries. And it is amazing to meet people who went through the Holocaust. It's amazing to know people who for whom the atrocities that we talk about as a thing of the past were a thing of reality. But it's important for us to understand that for so many people in this world, that reality still exists today. We have a violent past behind us. We are living in a violent present. And unless we take action, it's likely we will live in a violent future as well. The rise of white nationalism and white supremacy in our country here is a reminder of how far we must be willing to go in the struggle against fascism, in the struggle against racism, in the struggle against inequality that led to cultural attitudes that paved the way for the Holocaust to happen. And there are people living today for whom life under fascism was a reality and is a reality today. And many of these people are refugees, are immigrants, are people who face persecution for who they are. And they're also Americans who suffer from the fascism of neo-Nazism and white supremacy, who are followed out of mosques by people carrying guns, who fear going to temple and synagogue because of a threat of white supremacy and gun violence. And all of these things are important to think about in the context of recognizing atrocities against the Jewish people and the importance of bills like LB 888. Thank you, Mr. President.